The current owners of the popular Pozo bar, known for its country concerts, are suing the former owner after a deal between the two went sour. KSBY News reporter Asia Gore joins us live with the agreement and the disagreement. Asia.
Well, Scott, the current owners say they agreed to purchase the Pozo Saloon and keep it from going under in exchange for certain commitments from the previous owner. But according to the plaintiff, the previous owner never actually intended to follow through.
We wrote our names in there and the year and flicked them up there.
Back in May, Pozo resident Bob Rigetti told us about the dollar bills on the ceiling of Pozo Saloon in our series Central Coast Living. The bills are just one of many small details in this iconic bar's rich history. Now, the actual money is ruffling feathers. Dean Marchant is one of two owners filing suit against Pozo Saloon's former owner, Levi Beanway. The complaint, filed Wednesday in San Luis Obispo Superior Court, alleges fraud, breach of contract, and negligent misrepresentation.
I knew the Pozo Saloon was important. I didn't understand how important it was until I'm spending almost every day here for the last 3.5 months.
That's Marchant back in May when he told us about the many improvements to the saloon. And that's the crux of the complaint. Marchant agreed to buy the property last fall for $350,000 to keep it from going under. Under the agreement, the lawsuit says Beanway could someday repurchase the saloon for $550,000. He would also repay creditors, pay for rent, and make improvements to the bar. But Marchant claims Beanway failed to do any of it. Beanway declined to comment on the pending litigation, but did say, quote, "The truth will come out in time." The complaint seeks damages of over $800,000 and a declaration that Beanway has no ownership of the Pozo Saloon.
And an attorney for the plaintiff tells me the current owners can't even sell the property because of Beanway's claims that he owns 45% of the property, scaring off potential buyers. Beanway has yet to respond to the complaint. Live in the newsroom, I'm Asia Gore, KSBY News.
Thank you, Asia. Last April, the Pozo Saloon abruptly canceled a concert featuring the band Alabama, which was expected to bring in more than 1,000 people. At the time, the Beanway family cited health problems as the reason for canceling the event, but the band said on Twitter that the promoter didn't pay contractual deposits.